microphone because I really like props. It's like when you're you're working on stage and you have nervous actors, you always give them a prop so they have something to do with their hands so they don't forget their lines. I'm going to start with some things I don't believe in. I don't believe in making plans more than 24 hours in advance, and that's so simple to me that I'm always amazed because that seems to be the hardest one for people to deal with. I don't believe in the past because hindsight is tainted. I don't believe in hoping for things. I don't believe in stability. I don't believe on working on love or fixing relationships or making things work or making things easy for people. The static, the apathetic, the mundane, I try to keep those things from existing too. I believe in conflict, confusion, and the truly bizarre. I believe in the fate of all things coming to you specifically, not because you deserve it, but because it's for you. I believe in love at first sight and instant animosity and interchange between the two. I don't believe in hanging on. I believe in moving on and trusting that what you need will always come with you. Okay, this is going to be a string of sort of nostalgic, pathetic, romantic shit. Ha. I remember the old days when you could hear our black boots echo through the streets of Uptown. Those were the days when drugs were cheaper than whiskey and we all used to hang out down by the tracks. And I was pale and thin, and you were paler and thinner and looking for a fix. Talk was cheap then too, but we had a twisted sort of unity. And we were sure the music we listened to would kill us one day. So time passes, and time and fights and thousands of cigarettes hanging from bruised and painted lips, and broken glass and blades and scars and lust and hate and bass and drums, and education and incarceration and poverty and disease and depression and too much bad art. And we're doing the same thing in a more mundane environment. And this is to the same person I wrote that for. It's an old friend of mine. Excuse me. I thought of you as I laid on my apartment floor, coloring my body blue with chalk. And when I sat in that tattoo parlor for the first time, I was amazed at the lack of pain. And I drank a pint to you and to change and color your body blue and dance all night and feel the drum beats moving through you and pray to the moon and curse the sun if you have to, but keep on moving. I remember lovers and friends, and that's what makes us grow old, those multitudes. So I say move, and Michael says get stoned and fuck, and Danny says make plans. Lynn says get drunk, go dancing, fall asleep, and be sure to introduce yourself in the morning. Smoke a cigarette, listen to an album, go for a walk, but keep moving. Paul says sing a love song every day till you die and you'll be happy. Josh says, man, I don't know, but maybe junk is the muse, man. I think it'd really do something for me. And Elise says drink, speak in a southern accent and write volumes. And Red Boy says fight. Shane says fight, Kieran says fight. Black South Africa says fight. Nationalists in the 6 counties say fight, but just keep moving. No lies this time, okay? No lies. I had this apartment in Minneapolis with picture windows opening out onto the dumpster, and people passed through there. In 1 month, there was a wild-eyed boy from the Bronx drinking bourbon on my floor. Best poet I ever heard, and he'd smack you if you called him that. He thought it was a dirty word. There was dirt and blood and concrete in his writing, and the world was so real for him you could sometimes see it burning out of him like fire, and that's real. It's not fiction. It's not melodrama. I sat on the bed in the corner and saw a man who used to argue me into tears just for fun smile for the first time in 7 years of acquaintance. Laying on that bed one night, I heard the man in the bathroom slip 3 bullets into his clip and slide it back into his gun. Times like that, you go, shit, how well do I know this guy? When did I meet him? Yesterday? God. Wake up to a man crouched over me with a knife in his hand and says, damn, love, you should get locks on your windows. It's too hard to break in. Half awake all night waiting for someone to come home, open the cupboards and throw dishes on the floor because I don't want to ruin my lover's pretty face, but damn, I'd like to see it when one of these flew across the room at him. Didn't clean that up for days and had to wear out boots in the house crunching on it. So there were 40 people in that room on my birthday, men crying across my lap and asking me why are things the way they are? And someone saying, damn, they used to burn people like you, man. Burn them as witches. So love is death, and coffee is life, and the cigarette on my lips is romantic. Nostalgia is a disease, and like a bad cat, always returning. So let the new memories start. I'm going to sing something I wrote before I go on with these. Hope this isn't too fast. No one can ever understand the words I'm saying when I sing. What will we do when the bars close down? And what will we do when the walls come tumbling to the ground? And where will we be when we set ourselves free, when we walk down the streets, you and me in harmony, hard to know? How can we sleep when there's fights outside? And how can we live when we can't get by? Where will we be when we finally learn, when the table's turned and we burn the government to the ground? Do you know? So how can we fight when our comrades die? And how can we live when we can't get by? And where will we go, what will we do, who will we see, how will we dance, who will we love when the world is gone? So I don't know, do you know how to know? And going on, this is kind of evil. This is, well, it's to a lot of people, and it's called To the Man in My Bed Tonight. So I'm a bitch, okay? So could you get a clue and stop looking at me like that? And no, I don't just want to be held. Stop second-guessing my emotions, because I don't do emotions. I do lust. I do confusion. I do sensation. Why? What do you want? I won't meet your eyes, not because I'm shy or embarrassed, but because I don't want to create moments. Why can't we just be close acquaintances? Bump into each other once in a while. Sleep together if we want. No, I'm not saying that because that's what I think you want to hear. Obviously isn't. No big emotions, okay? Just little ones. Let the texture of skin against skin be the biggest thing you feel. Or tell me how you feel, then we can play games and not hurt each other. No, I don't want to kiss you. I'd rather tear at your skin, to be frank. Yet stop being cold, I'd stop being cold if you'd stop asking me for things I can't give you. Because, lover, I don't know, man, it's in your eyes every time you look at me. And it's in your voice when you call me on the phone. So don't love me. Just find me entertaining. And these are 2 goodbye poems, because I'm way into goodbyes. So he was a good man, and we had good times, and we made our love into the biggest thing it could possibly be. And I suppose it was the most fulfilling sex of my life, too. Not the most raucous or exhausting, but the closest to what suburban housewives think it should be. Psychic bonds and melodrama will do that to you, I guess. But more than that, I really believed he understood me that month. Anyways, he was a good man, but he still left in a bad way, leaving me in a position where I was expected to hate him. Not that I did, of course, but I did sit on my bed and turn his words back in his face and drink his bourbon as he gathered up his things from my floor. He said it wasn't fair my being so cold, but the way I saw it after his behavior, he hardly deserved my anger.